All right, the persuasive speech activity. I wanted to do one of these virtual writing labs for it just to give you a general overview of all the components that are going to be involved with this activity, give you an idea of why we're doing this and everything like that. So let's jump into this one. All right, so why are we doing this activity? Well, there's really four main reasons why this activity is going to be beneficial for you. The first is critical thinking, right? You need to be able to pick a side on a controversial issue. Being able to do that, it really works on your own understandings, your own emotional intelligence, and really shows you where you are as opposed to just going along with what's out there. Take the time to really think about things and find your perspective in them. It's also going to provide you with media literacy, the ability to get out there on the internet, find good quality, credible information, not just grabbing the first thing you run across, not just saying that you did the research, actually taking the time to dig in and look at each source, not just for the information it provides, but for its credibility, its usability, and probably most importantly, its relevance toward the argument that you are making in your speech. The persuasive aspect. This is huge. People don't understand just how important persuasion is in the healthcare industry. When you're talking to a patient, they're not always just going to go along with what it is you tell them to do. You need to be persuasive whenever you're telling them which care plan to go. We want to have that patient-centered care where we're allowing them to be a part of the process, but there are moments where we have to step in as a healthcare professional and say, hey, this is the best route. This is the way that we need to go. All right. So you want to be able to provide that persuasive appeal. This is definitely going to show you how to create a persuasive argument, to develop it and deliver it. And then developing and delivering, right? That's the good segue there. This is going to teach you how to take the information that you have, take your own knowledge, take your thoughts, take your feelings, your beliefs, all those things, and put them all together into this persuasive appeal to really get people to go along with the kind of point of view that you want them to go with, to go out and make a change in the way that you want them to make a change. So let's talk about the components of this activity. It's something you're going to be doing over several weeks. There's several components to it. I put it into different phases that you'll go through, four different phases that you'll go through. The first phase is the topic selection phase. Happens right at the beginning of the semester. You're going to do the three topic ideas for the persuasive speech activity in week 2. With this here, you need to fill the following in. One, what is the topic? Two, it needs to be controversial, something that people disagree. There's some kind of debate about it. Three, it needs to be in the healthcare industry. Four, it needs to be something that's a problem that you can provide a solution to. And then the fifth is that it needs to be something that is going to be persuasive and something that's going to be coherent and something that you understand what approach you're coming from. I need to be able to approve your topic, so that's why I write it in there in week 2. You give me those three ideas that answer those questions, like what is the topic? Make sure it's in the healthcare industry. Make sure it's some kind of a problem that you can provide a solution to. You'll provide me with three topic ideas. I'll get back to you with what I think is the best topic idea. Once you have got your topic selection approval, then you're going to move on to the research and preparation phase. This is the longest phase that you'll have. With this one here, right off the bat, you're going to have a persuasive appeals activity right after we learn about persuasion, where you're telling me, here's the persuasive appeals that I'm going to use. Here's how I'm going to use ethos and pathos and logos. And these are the things that I'm going to do in the speech to make sure I'm utilizing these persuasive appeals. You're going to tell me, how are you going to actually do the problem solution format? Because that's the requirement for this speech, is that you follow that persuasive structure. Again, this isn't just some informative speech where you're telling us about something. You're trying to convince us something is a problem. You're providing a viable solution to that, and then trying to get your audience to go out and do something about it. You're going to do research. You're going to dig into the literature in the field that's out there about your topic instead of just coming up with your own ideas. You need to get out there and you need to develop what we call an annotated bibliography. This is, you're going to let me know the source, and then you're going to do some evaluation of the source. You're going to give me a brief summary of what that particular article or website or thing was about. You're going to give it strengths and weaknesses. You're going to give your evaluation evaluation of it. You're going to talk about how it's relevant to the argument that you're making. All that will be a part of that annotated bibliography assignment. Again, that's there just to make sure you're on track with the research that you're doing and the utilization of these sources in your speech to enhance your credibility and to build your argument that you have. And then the actual script writing will take place. I used to do an outline. I don't do the outline anymore. Now it's an essay style script that you write, but it has to have very specific elements to it. The introduction will have 5 specific elements that it must have. The body of the speech will have specific elements. The conclusion will have 3 specific elements that it must have. So make sure that transitions are in there, all those things. And we'll talk about all that as the semester goes along as well. So you're doing your research, you're writing your speech, doing all those things. Then we move into the creation of the visual aid phase. With this one here, you're going to create a professional looking PowerPoint presentation that's got graphics, that's got visuals, that's got all those things. It's not heavy on text. It's very clean, very professional looking presentation that's a visual aid. It's not going to take the place of what you're saying. It's going to enhance it. It's not going to take away from what you're saying. It's going to enhance it. And there's an activity that you'll be doing at this point also that's called evaluating a persuasive speech. You're going to watch an actual speech that's given by another student from another class that you're going to evaluate based on the evaluation sheet that I'm going to use to evaluate your speech. You're going to evaluate their speech. You're going to look at how well they build credibility, how they use oral citations. Are they doing those properly? You're going to look at all those things. The idea with that is if you're watching someone else do it, then you start thinking about your own speech as well. Like, oh man, I guess I didn't do the oral citations the way I thought I did. Or man, I did a lot better than they did when it came to blah, 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 right? So that'll be there for you to do as well to help you in that phase. And then we got the actual delivery and video recording of the presentation. In this phase here, you're taking all that you've learned, all the feedback that I have given you up until that point. You're creating a 6 to 8 minute long video presentation that has that visual aid along with it. You're making sure there are 5 oral citations within that speech that are done in the proper format that I'll teach you. You got to make sure you're meeting all the metrics when it comes to not just the content, but the delivery of the content and all that kind of stuff. And it's something that needs to be accessible on YouTube. You're going to create an MP4 of you giving this presentation. You're going to upload it to YouTube. You're going to make sure that you save it or publish it as either unlisted or as public, whichever one you prefer. It can't be private because if it's private, I can't watch it. If I can't watch it, I can't grade it. And you get a 0. This is a big grade. So make sure that you're doing everything appropriately that you need to do there. And that's it. That's all the components. That's the different phases that we'll go through. And you can look at the syllabus to see when each one of these elements will be there. All the dates are up there for you. All right, so that's it for the persuasive speech. If you have any questions, let me know. Brandon.Schweitzer at altmancollege.edu. Everybody have a great week. I will, as always, talk to you on the next one.